Good morning, everybody. This is your check in with Pastor Patti on Thursday, June 18th. I can't believe how fast this week has gone. I hope it's been a good one for you so far. Today, I want to talk about prayer. And, so often, no matter what the situation is, even before COVID-19 hit, some of us were hit and miss in our prayer time. And, I'm hoping that through some of what we've gone through, your prayer life has increased. So often when people say, "Can you do this? Can you do that?" We say, "Oh, I got it. I'm all over it." That's something we should be able to say about our prayer life and how we handle it. In our lesson today, it talks about praying at all times. And one of the best places to find an example in the Bible of someone who truly took that to heart was David in the Psalms. In the Psalms, you can see as if you read through them, David prayed at the start of his day. He prayed at the end of his day. He prayed after major failures. David prayed when he was under pressure. He prayed to thank God for his blessings and to thank God for just God's creativity and how he solves problems and things like that. David prayed when he was isolated. And David prayed just out of joy for the blessings that God gave him. If you think about that, we could be praying all of the time. This week, as I was thinking and preparing for this devotion, we had a lot of different prayers that have come across our plate. You'll see in the email that I sent Grace Meyer, one of our little girls. In fact, she's one of our newer members. If you go to 10:30, you'll know her as the little girl that comes in with the baby brother and little brother Jackson, who always has the tie on and things like that. And Gracie was in and out of the hospital this week with some really bad stomach pains. So, we're thankful. We're so glad it wasn't appendicitis, and she's slowly starting to feel better. And we just ask for prayers for that. We've also had some tragedy in our midst in our world this week. For those of you that are remembering Dr. Thompson, one of our former superintendents, we lift up that family in prayer at the early death of his son Andrew, and all of those who were affected, friends and family and coworkers, and we also lift up our very own Pastor Nate and his family. We Many of us, actually, I would say all of us, understand what it's like to lose a close relative. And his grandma used to live right beside him, and I can relate. My grandma Mitzel used to live right down the street from me, and every Friday I had my coffee with her. I still have my coffee cup. So we can lift up prayers for all of these people. And, we especially lift up Pastor Nate and Elizabeth and Evelyn, and just as they travel for the funeral, just want to be with them, and for everybody who's watching, if you're online or wherever, just, think about what we can lift up in our prayer life. But let's not forget that when we pray, we should be saying thank you also. This week we're getting ready to hand out our VBS kits. Now, I don't know about you, but I was really scared. Are we having vacation Bible school? Are we not? And, our family and youth team is awesome. We're having it online. We're going to YouTube it. And I guess that's not a verb, but anyways, we're going to live stream it on YouTube. We have kits together for the children. And today, between 5:30 and 7, people can come to the church and pick them up. I think that is so exciting. And we've received some emails from people just from the community saying, thank you for doing this. So, we are so blessed that God's given us this ability, even though it may not be the most technology savvy, trust me, it's not, but that we have that ability. So, as we finish up looking at prayer today, God answers our prayers, and He answers them in His time, which I know I don't like a whole lot either often, but He also answers them. If God doesn't think it's what's appropriate, He's going to say no. If God thinks that the timing isn't right now, He's going to tell you to slow down. I think He has a sign in heaven that says, Pastor Patti, slow down. If it's not the right thing at this time, if it's not what is needed, He's going to look at you and say, you know what, it's time to grow and stretch and think a little harder. But if it's right, God's going to look at you and say, you go for it. I hope that as we close today, that you just spend some time in prayer. God bless you. Don't forget to keep sending those prayer requests in. Take care.